Chargers-Raiders is another game that I wanted to bring up here. It's a 3.5-point spread, another big-time total at 52.5. The reason I wanted to bring this up is the AFC West is going to be so important for us to follow. The AFC West has 4 teams that if you pulled out of that division and dropped in another, you would be like, oh, I think I like this group to go out there and win this division, right? If I grabbed Vegas and just slotted them in the AFC East, you'd be like, ooh, okay, maybe they give the Bills a run for their money. If I grabbed the Chargers and put them in the NFC South, there'd be plenty of people picking them to unseat the Tampa Bay Bucks. But it's these AFC West teams that will be going head-to-head all year, and it's those head-to-head matchups that will probably make the difference in terms of who wins this division. It's week 1, sure, but this is an important game between the Chargers and the Raiders.
Yeah, it is. And also, when we're talking about respect here and going over these lines, I got to tell you, the Chargers only being a minus 3.5-point favorite is a lot of respect to what we think about the Las Vegas Raiders this year. It's one of those teams, Kevin, which you could say, like, it's a shame that they're in this division, because if they're in another division, they might be able to legitimately compete for a championship. Talking about just the division title. Now, some people might say right off the bat, Donnie, you're crazy. I actually think the Raiders are going to have a very good season and will challenge, let's just say, the Chargers or the, Kansas City Chiefs, and quite frankly, again, the Denver Broncos. See where I'm going with that? Every team we figure that we mention outside of the Raiders has a legitimate chance and maybe a little bit more talent to win that division. But having said that, when you look at the Chargers, they're at home. An elite offensive line, a young quarterback that in maybe a year or two might take the mantle as the best quarterback in football. Austin Eckler, a fantastic, 3-down type running back that if you get him in space, he can just light your team on fire. And then you look at the wide receiver skill positions here for the Chargers. It's stacked up. Williams, Allen, and Palmer. There's not a lot to dislike about the Chargers, as Kevin would say, outside of their head coach going on for a 4th down every single play. But I want to take the Raiders here with the 3.5 points because I love what they're doing on offense. You see that infusion here with Josh McDaniels. He should be able to get that team off the ground. You have one of the best, if not the best, wide receivers coming over from the Green Bay Packers. But having said that, this is a Chargers game here. I would be really surprised. And again, we're not talking about a college football spread, Kevin, 17.5 points. This is a 3.5-point game that I would be shocked if the Chargers don't cover this game. I really would be.
It's a good point in terms of respect being offered towards Vegas, though in the scope of how we describe the AFC West, it makes sense. But if you're doing your typical home field advantage math, they view these teams, according to this, pretty similarly, which is an interesting notion, though it wouldn't surprise me if that game features a lot of Raider fans in the building, all things considered.